Forests occupy about 1/3 of the land area of our planet and are a vital element for the existence of all living things. Some have become part of modern cities, while others continue to remain pristine due to their impassability. In this video, I invite you to discover some of the most interesting and amazing finds in the forest. Enjoy watching. Durakai State Forest is located 3 hours away from Brisbane, the capital of Queensland, Australia. Sometimes, ancient fossils are discovered there, which are valuable for archaeology. However, in October 2020, a resident of the town of Carrara found a completely different, creepy discovery: a human skull. According to the man, he went into the forest just to enjoy nature. Near one of the trees, under fallen leaves, he noticed something suspicious and then realized it was a human skull. The man immediately reported his discovery to the police. The police who arrived at the scene took the skull with them and handed it over to experts for study. Unfortunately, it was not possible to determine exactly whose remains these were. But the preliminary version is that the skull might belong to a gold miner who died in this forest in the 19th century. In 2011, an ancient Roman road, over 1900 years old, was discovered in a forest in the English county of Dorset. In 43 AD, during the reign of Emperor Claudius, the Roman conquest of Britain began. As a result of this large-scale campaign, the ancient Romans captured most of the island of Britain, which gained the status of a Roman province. The Roman occupation of Britain lasted until the early 5th century, and of course it left its mark on the history of modern Great Britain. Today, archaeologists regularly discover various structures left by the ancient Romans, including the road in Dorset. The road built by the Roman invaders was part of the route from Londinium to Exeter. It was laid out with several layers of gravel and was built so well that it has survived to this day. The road consisted of a paved section for the quick and convenient movement of troops and external livestock driving sections. Ditches were dug on either side of the road to drain water. Scientists were struck by the fact that the road was intentionally made to be imposing. Its height now is 4.5 meters, and its width is 26 meters. It was probably necessary to make it large, so that the inhabitants of British settlements could see the advancing invaders and fear them. The discovery of this road allowed modern scientists to learn some details about the beginning of the Roman conquest of Britain. When talking about unicorns, we imagine beautiful horses with rainbow manes and a horn on their forehead. Unfortunately, such creatures exist only in fairy tales. However, unicorns do live on our planet, though they look quite different. Meet the saola, a species of even-toed horned animals, also known as the Asian unicorn. Saolas inhabit only the forests of Vietnam and Laos. These animals are so rare that they are almost impossible to encounter. Surprisingly, Asian unicorns were discovered only in 1992. The discovery of this species was a real sensation since no one expected that large mammals unknown to science still existed at the end of the 20th century. The first specimens were found in the Vu Quang Nature Reserve in Vietnam. However, it took another 4 years to photograph these rare animals in Laos. The saola is a fairly large species. Their body length reaches 180 centimeters, and they weigh around 100 kilograms. Their fur is brown with a white pattern on the face and white spots above each hoof. Saolas also have long, thin horns that can be up to 50 centimeters long. These animals live in the humid, impassable tropics at an altitude of 300 to 1,800 meters above sea level. Since they are very rare, little is known about their behavior and lifestyle. In March 2024, a Reddit user posted a photo of a mysterious green box with the caption, "What could be inside?" According to this person, he found the suspicious box tied to a tree in a forest near Sydney, Australia. He was afraid to open the box since it was unknown what could be inside. But even if he had decided to try, he likely wouldn't have succeeded, as the box was locked and secured with a metal chain. The post on the forum quickly gained popularity. Users began to speculate about what might be inside the box and how it ended up in the forest. There were indeed many theories. Some users suggested that the box was brought to the forest by Australian Special Services and that it contained secret documents. However, it would be strange to leave such a thing, even in a forest, in such a visible spot. Others were convinced that the box contained weapons or possibly even explosives. They advised the author of the post to immediately contact the police and report the exact location of the find. A third popular theory was that the box was a cache sought by participants in a quest game, posing no real danger. Unfortunately, what exactly was hidden inside this green box remains a mystery. India is home to several different types of forests, ranging from the humid tropical forests of the northeast to the deciduous forests of the central regions and the arid thorn forests of Rajasthan and Gujarat. Some of these areas are impassable and entirely untouched, but most forests already have various infrastructure objects within them. Of course, this negatively impacts the natural environment. Many forest animals in particular die under the wheels of vehicles on sections of highways passing through these forests. Fortunately, animal rights activists came up with and implemented an excellent idea to help protect animals from such situations. In 2020, a hanging eco-bridge was constructed over a busy highway in the mountainous state of Uttarakhand. It is 27 meters long and made entirely of natural materials: grass, bamboo, and jute. The bridge has already become a kind of landmark among locals and tourists. But most importantly, it will significantly reduce the number of small forest animals killed under the wheels of vehicles. New Forest National Park, located in southern England, is one of the largest reserves in the country, covering an area of 375.5 square kilometers. The park is home to many different trees and plants, as well as numerous birds and animals. Approximately 8 million people visit this place annually. One of the main attractions of the park is the dendroglyphs, or marks on the trees, which were left in various eras, some of them over 500 years old. The most common type of graffiti in New Forest is the so-called King's Mark. These dendroglyphs are symbols in the shape of an arrowhead. Such marks were used by the Royal Navy to designate beech and oak trees that were selected for felling to use their wood in shipbuilding. The trees that still grow in the forest were saved only because, in the early 19th century, Britain began using steel and iron for ship construction. Another popular type of tree graffiti in New Forest consists of concentric circles or witch marks. As is known, people in Europe feared witches and evil spirits for a long time. It is likely that by leaving such carvings on trees, they believed they would receive protection from black magic. Among other dendroglyphs in the park, one can also find depictions of people, animals, birds, and even someone's initials and dates. Thanks to these graffiti, New Forest allows tourists to immerse themselves in the past. By the way, it is also possible to take a virtual tour of this park. It is believed that the average lifespan of pine trees is about 350 years. However, among these trees, there are incredible long livers whose lifespan far exceeds the average. One such pine was discovered in the Pindus Mountains in northern Greece. In 2016, during scientific research, a team of scientists led by Paul Krusik discovered an entire grove of ancient trees. The grove consists of 12 Heldrich pines, each about 1,000 years old. Among these trees was the oldest, which took root more than 1,075 years ago, setting a true record. The pine was named Adonis after the ancient Greek deity. It has been recognized as the oldest tree in Europe. To determine the pine's age, a team of scientists from the University of Arizona, Mainz University, and Stockholm University performed several safe manipulations on the tree. First, they extracted a coarse sample from the tree with a diameter of just 5 millimeters. Then, they counted the rings. However, the resulting age of 1,075 years is not entirely accurate, as scientists did not reach the tree's center. Thus, the pine's true age is even greater. Such an age is quite remarkable, even for a tree. However, there are trees on our planet whose age seems almost fantastical. For example, the Great Basin bristlecone pine, which is 5,000 years old, in the White Mountains of California, and the sacred fig in Sri Lanka, which is 2,300 years old. Honey is known to us as a beneficial product made by bees. There are a vast number of varieties and, as it turns out, some are even dangerous for both humans and animals. This variety is called mad honey. Fortunately, mad honey can only be found in Turkey. Mad honey is produced by bees that feed on the rhododendron plant. Both the nectar and pollen of rhododendron contain andromedotoxin, a neurotoxin that disrupts the function of cellular receptors. The effect of this dangerous substance on the body of a human or animal manifests in two stages. First, the toxin stimulates the nervous system and then suppresses it. Andromedotoxin poisoning can lead to death. Interestingly, poisoning with mad honey was described by the ancient Greek writer and military leader Xenophon in the 4th century BC. In his work, Anabasis, he talked about a strange illness that struck his entire army after the soldiers consumed honey from eastern Turkey. In addition to humans, honey is also a favorite treat for bears. Mad honey has an intoxicating effect on these animals as well. In 2022, a young female bear was found in Turkey behaving very strangely. Fortunately, those who discovered her immediately understood what was happening and took the animal to a veterinarian. The bear had eaten too much mad honey and suffered severe poisoning, but human help saved her life. After a full recovery, she was returned to the forest. In June 2024, a resident of Pongakawa village on New Zealand's North Island discovered a horrifying and even disgusting sight in a forest near his home. Just imagine how frightened he was when he saw what you are now seeing on your screens. According to the man, when he noticed these two strange objects, he initially thought they were eyeballs. Then he realized that it was some kind of plant or fungi. The man became curious about what it was, so he posted a photo of his find on the social network Reddit. The post attracted many users who began to share their guesses about what these two eyeballs actually were. Soon it was revealed that the objects in the photo were fungi from the Earthstar family. These fungi got their name because during ripening, the outer shell of their fruiting body splits and resembles a star. In some species, the shell does not split but merely peels away, making the mushroom resemble an eyeball rather than a star. Earthstar fungi are mainly found in forests with deciduous trees and prefer to grow in fallen leaves. Despite their frightening appearance, these fungi are not poisonous, although they are completely tasteless. For this reason, people do not eat them. In the spring of 2021, a cartographer named Thomas Carlson went into a forest near the Swedish town of Alingsås to map the area. In the thicket behind some boulders, he noticed strange metallic objects. At first, he thought they were some kind of garbage, but he decided to examine his find. Upon closer inspection, he saw bronze jewelry that looked almost brand new. Carlson reported his discovery to the local authorities, who, in turn, sent archaeologists to the forest. It then became clear that the cartographer had found an ancient treasure trove dating back to the Bronze Age. According to the excavation leader, archaeologist Johan Ling, most of the jewelry was made of bronze and definitely belonged to a wealthy woman or women. These items are approximately 2,500 years old. The treasure trove mainly contained necklaces, bracelets, and other ornaments. In addition, needles and loops used to attach the jewelry to clothing were also found there. Despite their age, the treasures are well preserved. Most likely, this was because they were in a location well protected from external negative factors. However, how they ended up on the surface in a visible spot remains unknown. Scientists speculate that animals might have dug up the jewelry because if it had been humans, they would certainly have taken the treasures with them. Kush Ray, a tattoo artist from Nottinghamshire, has a hobby of magnet fishing. In 2021, he managed to find an amazing artifact that could have belonged to Robin Hood. According to him, he had believed in Robin Hood since childhood. One day, he had the idea to find proof that the hero of the ballads was real. So he decided to explore a lake in Sherwood Forest, located near the Major Oak, where, according to legends, the legendary thief who robbed the rich lived. After several hours of magnet fishing, Cush Ray pulled out a silver arrowhead from the water. He reported his find to the authorities, and the arrowhead was handed over to experts for further study. Cush Ray himself believes that this artifact could be the very arrow promised by the Sheriff of Nottingham to the winner of an archery competition he organized to capture Robin Hood. Studies of the arrow showed that it indeed dates back to the 13th century. Furthermore, it was not used as intended, so it is quite possible that it really might be somehow connected to Robin Hood. In 2020, during construction work on the Greek island of Lemnos, near the town of Varos, workers discovered a fossilized tree. A team of scientists from the Museum of Natural History arrived at the site to study the find. At the first stage, scientists took measurements and examined the tree. Its trunk is 8 meters long. The tree is excellently preserved, allowing scientists to determine its age, which is 20 million years. It sounds amazing. But similar ancient specimens had previously been found in Greece, particularly on the island of Lesbos. Scientists also managed to identify the tree as a sequoia. But how did this specimen manage to survive in such good condition to this day, as wood tends to rot from moisture? Experts explain that during the Miocene epoch, Lemnos and Lesbos experienced intense volcanic activity. Lava covered the trunks of the fallen trees, which allowed them to be preserved for 20 million years. Following this discovery, Greek scientists decided to focus on further searches for ancient tree fossils. Presumably, there are many such specimens on the bottom of the Aegean Sea, between the islands of Lemnos and Lesbos. The more specimens found, the more data will be obtained about the climatic conditions of Greece during the Miocene epoch. At the beginning of 2024, an unusual property was listed on an English real estate website. The owner is offering a plot of land of more than 7 hectares, which includes a small house for $400,000. This sum might seem high, but along with the land and house, the new owner will receive 300 vintage cars. The house for sale was built in 1988. On the ground floor, there is a large living room with oak-paneled walls and old furniture. On the second floor, there is a small bedroom with a bathroom. The house also has a basement where the new owners can store their belongings. The property also includes a winter garden with a hot tub and a garage. However, the most interesting and attractive feature of this property is that the current owner is including 300 vintage cars produced between the 1940s and the 1970s in the price. The collection features cars like the Nash Metropolitan, Ford Edsel, and other rare models. Additionally, the owner is fully transferring their car sales business to the buyer. At first glance, it is hard to determine what these objects are. In fact, they are coins that were found in a German forest in the Freiburg district, in the municipality of Glottertal. In August 2024, a worker named Klaus Volker was laying pipes when he discovered a large number of silver coins. Upon examining them, he realized he had found a real treasure. However, he decided not to keep them for himself and reported the discovery to the authorities. The day after the coins were found, archaeologists arrived at the site and began excavations. Over the course of several days, experts unearthed more than 1,500 silver coins from the ground. The discovered hoard was sent for further research, during which it was found that the coins were minted in the 1320s in what is now Germany, Switzerland, and France. At that time, such a quantity of coins could have bought more than 150 sheep. This discovery provided scientists with more information about mining and coin minting in this region 700 years ago. In the 14th century, Glottertal was an important mining area for the Dukes of Freiburg. In the Huel Goat Forest, located in the northeast of Brittany, France, there is a unique attraction that draws many tourists, the Shaking Stone. The Shaking Stone is a massive boulder, 7 meters long and weighing over 130 tons. So what is so amazing about this stone, you may ask? The remarkable thing is that any person, even a child, can rock this boulder. To do this, you simply need to push the piece of rock in a specific direction. The secret of this natural attraction lies in its positioning. At first glance, it appears that the boulder rests perfectly on a flat surface, but this is not the case. In reality, the rock fragment is perched on the peak of another, larger rock formation. Because the peak's area is smaller than that of the boulder, one part of it is hanging in the air. If you know where to push the balancing stone, anyone can achieve the effect of rocking it. It is not surprising that this place is popular among tourists who want to test their strength and create impressive videos of their experience. By the way, the Huel Goat Forest also has other interesting rock formations, such as the Mushroom Rock, which really looks just like a mushroom. Robin Hood is a popular hero of medieval English ballads. He is described as a noble thief who, along with his band, robbed the rich in Sherwood Forest and shared the loot with the poor. Whether this man existed in real life is unknown. Historians believe that if he did exist, he most likely lived between the 12th and 13th centuries. In 2016, a 34-year-old resident of Nottinghamshire named Mark Thompson discovered an ancient gold ring with a gemstone in Sherwood Forest, which he believed could have been stolen by Robin Hood from some nobleman. Thompson, a car painter, spends his free time searching for various objects using metal detectors. Before this discovery, he had only found various trinkets, so he was incredibly happy when he got his hands on this ring. The jewelry found by Thompson is a gold ring with a blue gemstone. On one side, next to the stone, there is an engraving of Jesus as a child, and on the other side, an image of an unknown saint. The ring was valued at $35,000. However, Thompson has decided not to sell his find just yet. In 2012, an unusual incident occurred in the English county of Surrey. During a sporting event, local authorities accidentally discovered that a house had been built in the forest near the village of Westcott. No information about this building was found in the register, so an investigation was necessary. It soon became clear that the house belonged to Daniel and Jessica Brown. The couple had built their home back in 2007, but they did not seek permission to build on the green area protected by strict building restrictions. The family was not registered for municipal taxes, was not included in the voter list, and even residents of the neighboring village did not know that there was a house in the forest. All of this could have been grounds for evicting Daniel and Jessica, but as it turned out, doing so was impossible. According to Article 191 of the Town and Country Planning Act of 1990, eviction is possible only if the dwelling was built less than 4 years before its discovery and if no one lived there. However, the Browns found plenty of evidence that their house was built in 2007 and that they had lived there the entire time. Naturally, this news angered some residents of the neighboring village. They even filed a lawsuit, but the law turned out to be on the side of the Brown family. In early 2020, while clearing the forest near the Scottish town of Moffat, forestry workers made an amazing discovery. Among dense fern thickets, they noticed an iron door, which turned out to lead to a secret bunker from World War II. It is believed that this bunker was built as a base for one of the secret auxiliary units, Churchill's Secret Army. This unit consisted of volunteers, similar to the British Home Guard, tasked with defending the country in the event of a Nazi invasion. However, Churchill's Secret Army operated covertly and was divided into several guerrilla brigades of 6, 8 people each. Each brigade was stationed in one of hundreds of tiny bunkers scattered throughout the countryside. The locations of these bunkers were so secret that most of them remain undiscovered to this day. The bunker found near Moffat is an underground room with brick walls and a metal door. It lies just under 1.5 meters below the ground and measures 7 meters in length and 3 meters in width. It was intended to accommodate 7 guerrillas from Churchill's secret army. In 2019, during excavations in a forest near the German city of Cologne, archaeologists discovered an interesting spy device that was manufactured in the USSR. The find was a radio receiver identified as the R394KM model, also known by the code name Strige. The Strige was in a metal box, and each element of the device was wrapped in packaging paper. This indicated that the radio receiver had not been used and was merely waiting underground for its time to come. The Strige was manufactured in the USSR in 1987. Most likely, this particular unit was made specifically for foreign spies since, unlike other similar receivers, this one had labels in Latin letters instead of Cyrillic. Experts suggest that the device was left in the forest with the purpose of later sending secret reports about surveillance of the Jülich Nuclear Research Center or the military airbase in Norvenich, where American Pershing nuclear missiles were stationed until 1995. However, the device was never used. The Strige was capable of transmitting and receiving data over a distance of about 1,200 kilometers. Depending on the equipment settings, the operator of the device could transmit from 6 to 168 five-digit numbers per minute. After sending the message, the operator would switch to reception mode and wait for a response. The Strige's design was meticulously thought out, as the kit included everything necessary, including tools and spare parts, and operating the device was not complicated. This find is now stored in the Rhineland Regional Museum in Bonn. Our planet is home to many dense, impenetrable forests. Much of their territory remains entirely unexplored. Just imagine how many mysteries and secrets are hidden in such forests. Fortunately, in the modern world, there are methods for monitoring inaccessible areas. In particular, thanks to drones, we can see what is happening in dense jungles. This photograph was posted on one of the popular social networks. The author shared it to find out what kind of creature he managed to capture on his drone's camera. In the photograph, we see a figure resembling a human. However, in place of the head, this creature has something strange. Unfortunately, it is impossible to make out exactly what it is due to the quality of the image. According to the author, the photograph was taken from a distance and then zoomed in. Theories about who or what was captured in the photograph include cryptids and aliens. However, some people did not see anything mystical in the image and believe it could simply be a scarecrow. In 2020, a rare yellow turtle was found in a forest in the Indian state of West Bengal. The unusual animal was discovered by a forest ranger named Debashish Sharma. He was so amazed by the turtle's unique coloration that he decided to take it out of the pond and bring it to veterinarians. A video featuring the yellow turtle quickly gained popularity among residents of India, who were curious to know the reason for this strange color. One of the country's senior Forest Service officers, Ramesh Pandey, explained that forest rangers do not know the answer to this question, and that the yellow coloration may be due to a genetic mutation. Interestingly, a few months earlier, the first yellow turtle had been found in India, but nothing like this had been seen by the locals before. Therefore, some people believed that the appearance of such unusual reptiles was a sign of an important event, likely a good one. This is related to the fact that, in Hindu mythology, the supreme deity Vishnu descended to Earth in the form of a yellow turtle. Scientists, however, have a different theory about the origin of yellow turtles. According to them, this unusual color is related to a genetic mutation similar to albinism. However, in this case, the turtles lose all pigments except yellow. Interestingly, only Indian flap-shelled turtles turn yellow. That's all I have for now. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and click the bell. Your engagement is the best reward for me. Thank you for watching. See you soon. Goodbye.